Right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining. I can see Oladeji Sarah. So, good afternoon from Nigeria, and maybe good morning, good evening to wherever you are joining us from. Okay, so we'll just be waiting briefly for more people to join. Then I'll bring our guests on together with me on the live video. So, if you are here already, just copy the link and share with people on your WhatsApp, share with your nursing community. Yeah, so will not be taking too much time. Okay, I can see Olabode joining. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so let's share the link on our WhatsApp. Let's share the link with our friends so that they can join. So this is still 2:58. We'll be waiting for a few more minutes. Yeah, while we expect other people to join us. Yeah, so I am Oluwadara Eniola. Okay, I can see Pelumi joining. Thank you for joining, Pelumi. You're welcome. So I can see you just followed. Okay, so after this live session, I would also be following back. Thank you for joining. So just like the flyer that was released earlier, so this conversation is going to be around internship. And before I speak further on it, so let's wait for a few more minutes while we'll expect other people to join. So Balumi, thank you for joining. So you're welcome. So let's share the link with our friends so that we can have more people to join us. And then we just shoot immediately. So it's not going to be a long conversation, but it's going to be an educative and an enlightening one. I'm very sure. Okay, so another person just joined. Thank you for joining, Miss. Is it Ore or Ore? Yeah, so pardon me if I'm not pronouncing it right. You're welcome. So if you are just joining, just copy the link and share with your nursing communities, maybe your friend, your classmates. So just like the flyer that was released, I'm having to go over that again. We are going to be having this conversation around nursing internship. What has been the experience? Thank you for joining Ife. Okay, so it's going to be a conversation around internship. Thank you for joining, Tommy. So if you are just joining us, just copy the link and share with your friends, particularly nursing undergraduates. Yeah, so this live session promises to be great. Okay, so this is 3 p.m. already. Okay, so not to waste time or take too much time, I believe as we go on in the conversation, other people will be joining us. Okay, so thank you, Tommy, for joining. So just copy the link and share on your WhatsApp, share with your friends. Belumi, I'm acknowledging you again, Miss Ori. Thank you for joining. Okay, so I think I should just bring our guest on. Okay, so what's happening is in the network. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, Dr. Sadeleke Salwe.
Yeah, good afternoon.
All
Oluwadara
right.
Eniola.
Yeah, thank you for joining. Okay, so I think we should just start. Hoping that other people would join us as we go on in the conversation. Or what do you think?
Yeah, I think it is time already. We are two
Oh,
minutes ahead. So we
yes,
can get
that's really.
started. So as soon as others are online, they would join and flow along.
Oh, all right. So, okay, I can see other people joining. Temitope, Sima, thank you for joining. Bolade, thank you for joining. So just copy the link and share with your friends. Bitcoin Nurse, thank you for joining. I can see Esther Fawole. I can see again past ABK. Okay, so thank you for joining. If I'm not pronouncing your name right, you'd have to pardon me. Okay, so Ibukun Oluwa, Adiwale, thank you for joining. So I think we should just start already. So other people will be joining us. Okay, started by Shewa. Thank you for joining. Okay, so just like we've seen the flyer that went around, this conversation is going to be about nursing internship, and it's going to be a conversation. And just like we saw on the flyer, we're going to be covering the essence, the expectation, and the challenges of nursing internship. You see, getting tempted to start talking about the challenges, but no, no, we're going to start. Yeah, because I really just feel like sharing my experience when I wanted to start the internship, and I know my friend's experience too was sort of similar to mine, even though he knew what he wanted already, and that was what he pursued. But that might not be the same. That might not be the same for everyone. And I've interacted with different people, even from my class and from other schools, and I've known what their experience was like. So I'm getting tempted to start talking about the challenge, but I won't. I won't. So we were supposed to have this session together, but we thought it was going to be too much conversation just for a session, and we wanted you to have your time and be able to take the information in. So we're going to be breaking it into three series. We're having the first one today, and what we'll be covering majorly is we'll be taking the experience of my colleague that is here. Thank you for joining. Akintunde Omoleke, it's a pleasure having you. It's my very good friend. Okay, so Onyx Princess, thank you for joining. Yeah, so Ogundipe, Adura something, thank you for joining. Yeah, so we're going to start talking about the essence. Is it important? Is internship necessary? What is internship supposed to achieve? So that is what the conversation is going to be around. And just like I mentioned earlier, not the one doing this alone. I have my friend here, Nosadeleke Sam. Yeah, thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. And I must say, I am excited to be up here as a guest discussing about my internship experience. And I am hoping that it's going to be an interactive one, even as I delve into talking about a few of my um, experience for the past 1 year as an intern nurse. Although now I am an ex-intern. Yeah, thank you once again, Uluadara.
All right, so I can see more people are joining. So thank you for joining. I think did I acknowledge GMK? Yes, thank you for joining. Adisa Bosede, thank you for coming. Omola Zola, thank you for joining. All right, so if you are just joining, you must have seen the flyer. It's going to be about sharing our internship experience and hopefully providing information that you would find also important. So I have with me Nosadileke Samuel. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and start. So, in your own opinion and judging from your experience, um, what do you think, or would you say internship is all about?
Okay, thank you so much. And I believe that having completed my internship program, I think it is 3 weeks now that I completed the internship program. I must say that, in my own opinion, internship is just a phase whereby, and of course, we are aware that it is designed majorly for the nurse graduates. So you would all agree with me that in the school, why as a student, most of our times we always spend in the classroom, and there's an expectation that we are expected that the society is hoping to get as soon as we graduate from school. And as a result of that, internship is necessary in the sense that it will help, it will ease our transition from the university, from the four walls of the university, to the society, to the real world nursing, because we have nursing in school and nursing out there. So internship would help instill the skills and all that is required of you as a nurse to meet up with the expectations of the society.
All right. So thank you for that brief. And now, not just about the, I'm just going to add is that it's not just the expectation. Of course, I think that's still the society anyway, and the expectation of your colleagues and other healthcare professionals that you'll be working with. Yeah, of course, you know that it's not going to be a work in isolation. You are going to be working with a team. Yeah, so
Definitely.
it helps you get integrated into the system easily and effectively. Yeah, yeah. So it ensures you are efficient in your practice. So I mean, that's just basically what internship is all about. It's a 1 year program. Yeah, it helps you transition. Yeah, from the fall. So the next question I will be asking our host is to just enlighten us. How did internship start in Northern Nigeria?
Okay, very quickly, I'll be talking on that. Internship in nursing. There used to be a time that internship was only associated. It has to do with only those in other our sisters' profession, that of the medical laboratory science students, the medical students, the radiologists, and I think dietitians, physiotherapists as well. But it became an issue of great concern to students in the university, and they took it up. We used to have an association, um, the Nigerian Nursing Students University the Nigerian Nursing Students Association, NONSA, the national body that cuts across different institutions from different states. They came together and staged a protest to Abuja to protest that internship should be implemented. And I think it was at the federal, the head of service. So that the head of service office, their headquarters in Abuja. So they staged the protest, and I think they got a listening. It yielded a positive result, and I think the action gave birth to internship in nursing today, to the full implementation, and that's how it got started. And around January 2017, it started fully. That every nurse graduate had the opportunity to always go out there after their university education to have an experience that help them in garnering more skills in delivering quality healthcare to their patients.
All right. Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, so I would just add that I think if there was no need for the program, we wouldn't have had the body fighting it and taking it up that it should also be implemented in the curriculum of nurses in Nigeria. So, of course, we had, just like you mentioned, we had other profession already um, having their own internship and all, just like we know already. I wouldn't be talking about those things. And I think you mentioned them. So nothing was yet to come into that. And we had some people who took it upon themselves. And you know, the unfortunate, should I say unfortunate thing, or part of the things that has made it quite difficult is that we still have several institutions in Nigeria today who are yet to start taking intern nurses, and it
Yeah.
has been a thing of concern. We just hope that with time and while we still get more people to take it up, they would also implement it and would start taking intern nurses. Yeah, so I would like you to also, if you are just joining, I acknowledge all of you. Thank you for joining. Fesla, Lovely Bites, Ebon Wisdom, Saxon Nurse, Fallad. Yeah, thank you for joining. Yeah, so next now, I would like to talk about. I think you mentioned that already, but I just think, what is the program? meant to achieve?
Okay, thank you so much. Like we've earlier established that it took actions from students and some other stakeholders before internship could be implemented fully. And I think the major reason why there were agitations for this to be implemented was because of what it stands to achieve, was because of the achievements. That was the major reason why bodies were rising that internship should get started in nursing as well. So I think basically what internship tends to achieve is that it helps. There's a way it instills this level of confidence. Like you would all agree with me that why in school as a student nurse there's this level of um, low, like there's this level of confidence that we have. Of course, patients, relatives, they expect us. There are some things that they are hoping that we should do as a student nurse. But in the real sense, we see we are at that particular stage whereby we cannot carry out some of those procedures. There are some tasks we cannot do. There are some things we cannot do on our own. But thank God for internship. And so far, I can say that for anyone that must have gone through, or anyone who would pass through this particular stage, at the end of 1 year, by yourself, no one needs to assess you. You by yourself, you will be so confident as a result of the rotations that you have had, the theater posting, the one of mental health, A&E, all of that. I could even recall I get started with A&E posting, and at first it was kind of overwhelming. It was overwhelming, and I was like, will I be able to still continue with this internship, or is it this facility that is this challenging? But in the long run, I got adapted. I got adapted not long, and I was doing fine at to the extent that I was not even willing. I was reluctant to leave that particular unit. So you can imagine A&E. So I remember those days that when you hear A&E while in school, you are terrified that cases that are brought down to A&E, not even cases that you meet on the ward, whereby patients they are better already, but emergency cases. So all of those things, internship would help instill confidence, and there's skills as well. There are skills. I could remember while in school as a student nurse, I never for once set line. Like I never for once set a cannula for a patient. So I remember this particular day, on a fateful day, we had a patient that was to take an IV drug, and the line was faulty. So myself and my senior colleague, the staff nurse that was on duty, I told him, and there was a need to actually administer that drug, and he was like, "Can I set line?" So of course, I've spent about 2 weeks in the unit, and I used courage to like, yes, I can set it. And I think I gave it a trial and it worked. So I was able to give that particular medication. So, and subsequently, there was no point calling on anyone to supervise while I tried setting line. So I did all of those things with ease, such that even after that rotation, I was able to do it on my own in different units. And also, you would agree with me that there are some procedures that, of course, in the classroom or in school, in a medical surgical laboratory, there are demonstrations for these procedures, but in one way or the other, we are unable to witness it on the ward while we are on medical surgical posting. I could remember passing of enema. It only came out during our nursing council examination. That was November 2020. But all through my stay in school, I was unable to witness or to observe or even do it on my own as a student nurse. But while working as an intern nurse, I was able to participate in one. Of course, it's not a single nurse procedure. So I participated and I saw the results. So that one, there's a way that it will as well develop our clinical knowledge. So most times in school, we tend to just read, even if you are not getting the picture of it. But while serving as an intern nurse or working as an intern nurse, we tend to see most of those things. And I could even remember the experience of the critical care units. During my stay in school, I was not privileged to be posted to that unit, all through. But then, as an intern, I was opportune to work in the critical care unit. In fact, it was even my last rotation, and it was a great one. It was a great one. I was exposed to machines that I've not seen before. Machines that I could remember, infusion pump. This particular one, we are only used to the manual one, the one that you have to like stand, you time, and all of that. Do all of those ones yourself. But that of the advanced one, I I I got to see it in the critical care unit. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is that internship is meant to bring out skills and to expand your knowledge medically. There are even some disease conditions that while preparing for my professional exams, I just read to have an idea. Then eventually I met all of those ones on the word. I was like, wow, so this is what I was actually reading some few years ago. So really, I must say that internship has it will and it has helped me a lot. And of course, I believe that it's going to help those that are coming behind potential interns. It will help them a great deal. So I'm trying to be mindful of time. Thank you so much.
All right, so explicit enough. So part of the things you mentioned, just to recap, is that um, internship is going to help you build the necessary skills. It's going to give you a particular level of confidence, and you know the instance that he gave. Now, for him, the first attempt was successful, and that's very fine. For you, it might not be like that. I mean, I'm just trying to talk generally. I'm just trying to talk generally now. Yeah, but it gives you that medium of carrying out procedure under supervision. Yeah, while as a student, there are certain things, or even several things that you would just only read them in the textbook. You'll be taught in the class, but coming into that clinical space as an intern on you and also give you that medium to make, should I say mistakes? No. I think gives you that opportunity to also build yourself, to learn and to carry out procedures under supervision. Even though in several instances you would be left to do stuff, yeah, but we are just talking generally on what is ideal, what is supposed to look like, and to share our own personal experience. Yeah. So we're talking about your, I mean, I just need to digress a bit. Talking about your favorite rotation while doing your internship. Which of the units would you refer to as your favorite, and why? Why would
All right. Thank you so much. I think the unit I would refer as my favorite was the theater unit. The theater unit. And the reason why it is theater was that internship was um, the very first time that I was able to go into the theater and to work under supervision, because all through my stay in school I was not opportuned, but during internship, of course, it is one of those units that we must go around. And the reason why it is interesting was
so
I
wait?
think at first,
Sorry to cut in.
pardon.
So do you mean throughout your school days you never for once go into the theater?
Yeah, at all, at all.
Uh, I think I did. I did.
There are times
I
that
spent some weeks there.
we have several other units, and of course everyone cannot be posted to the theater at once as a student and going around. I believe I
Yeah.
am not supposed to be the only one. There are those that might not have the opportunity as well, and this is one of the things that internship aims to achieve. It gives a room for you to get to
Yeah.
places you've not been to, get to units you've not been to in the hospital, and therefore it helps you to have an idea of what's going on. So I remember um, other units as well that I was unable to go while in school, but during internship, I was able to get to those places, and the knowledge was worth it.
Okay, so I think let me share my own experience before we just go to the next thing. Yeah, for me, I think I prefer you and A&E. Yeah, because and the reason why I picked those two units is because well, it was very stressful, but you definitely get to learn and it was engaging. And another particular reason why I picked them as my preferred unit was because there is this level of, should I say, independent practice.
Very
Yeah,
true.
when you get to work in IC, yeah, you make certain decisions. Also in AI, they make certain decisions. They're not really waiting for. Of course, they still work with prescription, they work with order, and all of this. But there is this level of independence that I see in people working in ICU, people working in nurses working in AI. Yeah, particularly where I had my internship, we we had a nurse there who, of course, that is not peculiar to him, but I see him to be very, yeah, he's an Indian guy. So I think the way they trained them over there is very different from the way we are being
Yeah, way
trained here.
different.
I mean, yeah, Danish will make decisions. There are procedures that even there will be other healthcare professionals who would not be able to do that procedure, or maybe they would have tried it several times and no success. And when Danish comes on the scene, I mean, within short time, he would do it and then it's gone. And I'm like, this is enough. So there was that
Very
level
funny.
of independence. It made me see, to be sincere, nursing in another light, and it got very interesting. And the way the guy is living his life, he had his family over there, and the way he's living his life, I mean, most of the times when there are very critical cases, they need him to always be on ground. So he's always shuffling between his apartment, coming back to the hospital, and and I'm like, this is what nursing should be about. Yeah, so that was why I picked. Even though it was very stressful, I was be sincere, it was stressful. I mean, the peculiarity of where I had my internship is we run two shifts. So your morning
Yeah.
duty is from 2 a.m. to 6 p.m. and from night to 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. I mean, if you can imagine how draining that could be. So it was, but I think when I started, it was very demanding, but with time, I began to cope. And then towards the later end, I could not wait to finish. So it was unusual. It was unusual to the normal experience that I had while I was in school.
Yeah.
Just to add to what my guest had been talking about, the internship experience also places a sense of responsibility on you while in the clinical area. I mean, while as a student, you not take responsibility of documentation, you might, I mean, many of the times, maybe the nurse there will just look at tasks that she is unable to combine together and they just say, okay, students not going to do that, do this, and then it's not really taking care of documentation, taking care of the care of the patient, just delegating tasks to you. So, but
Yeah,
when
sorry to cut in. I
doing
think sorry to cut in. Most times in school, as a student knows, what we are always requested to do is go and check vital signs. So we check vital signs while the staff get to do all other roles as a nurse.
So there is always that limitation, and of course, you can understand them. They are trying to be careful. So, but during your internship, there is this expectation, this sense of responsibility. You also get to be accountable. That is placed on you. You learn how to manage the words, to manage all that is going on, and of course, it helps build your skill and competence as a nurse. Yeah. So having mentioned all of the peculiarity of the internship um, period, what it is meant to achieve,
Then sorry,
Samuel, your
I
own
think
opinion,
there's a
and
point I like to add. Sorry, I think there's a point I like to add as one of those things that internship helps to achieve. It also helps to identify. It helps us to discover our specialty. There are times that while in school, you are yet to still reach a conclusion on which specialty do you want to get into. What do you think you want
That's
to
very true.
do in nursing? So going through the rotation in internship, it helps you to make your decision as well.
Yeah, that's very important. You mentioned a very important point. Yeah, so because you see students say, okay, what do you intend to specialize in? And I mean, I've met funny people, and of course, I'd also consider it that their major consideration is what is going to earn them much. It's like, which specialty pays more? I say, okay, Nigeria is the specialty that pays
Yeah.
more outside the country. But of course, there are other things that you would want to consider, and that was what our guest just spoke about, your interest. Are you really interested in this and interest in school? And you are oblivious of what this is all about. So coming
Exist.
for your internship holds you that exposure to that your should I say your area of interest and really help you decide whether you would still want to pursue it or probably change consider. Okay, so having talked about the benefits, the peculiarity, what the whole program is all about, Samuel, would you say the program is compulsory? And then considering how how it works, do you think the internship compulsory?
Um, in my own opinion, I wouldn't really say it's compulsory. Of course, we have instances whereby some graduate nurses do boycott it, but as from my own end, I won't encourage or advise anyone who had just graduated from the university to to shy away from internship to the next level, because I feel that there are times that, and there will be a time that it will be seriously referenced with. Presently, of course, there are some facilities that are making reference with internship now. If you, at the end of your NYC and you want to start looking for a job, they want to know if you went to the internship program. I could remember that of the facility whereby I finished my internship, Federal Teaching Hospital, Ido-Ekiti. The recent employment that they did, those are that observed their internship program, and then with that of NYC, they had an edge. They were a step ahead of those that did just one, that did just probably NYC without internship. So it is necessary from my end. If I would tell anyone, it is necessary that anybody who has just graduated from the university passes through the stage, because we have discussed explicitly on the essence, the importance, and the benefits that one tends to enjoy going through this stage. So yeah, I believe it is necessary.
All right. Thank you for that response. Yeah, so basically, the internship program is necessary but not compulsory. So, and I thought you were going to talk about the different options that people explore after school. I think we should just briefly talk about that. I mean, those that boycott internship, what do they boycott it for, and all of that. Do you get the question?
Sorry, can you come again?
Okay, so I was saying that the conclusion now is internship program is not compulsory, but it is necessary. Now, so and you talked about people by program to probably move to the next phase, and also what are the different options that people consider after graduating from school aside internship?
Oh, okay. So I think the options are one of the reasons why some people tend to boycott internship for the next phase is probably those that have just gained admission to travel out of the country. Probably they want to proceed with their second degree, and the interval whereby they are to prepare and go does not really allow them to go for internship. Then some, it could be out of their choice, or probably their will to leave the country, probably to work, or reasons best known to them. That's why some would want to like skip the internship year, then probably go for NYC. There are some that they even skip both. They don't go for internship and NYC either. But some, they prefer going for NYC instead of internship. But then the truth still remains that the impact, the essence of internship cannot be overemphasized. So, and that was why I stated that it's, from my own opinion, I would advise anyone to ensure that they pass through this stage. Of course, there are some that would even want to observe internship and boycott NYC, but I feel both is necessary, because no one knows what the future holds. And you would agree with me that there is this logbook, and there are some other documents that we are meant to take along for internship. Although presently, sometimes it seems as if some people do not really reckon with it, but I feel that a time is coming that there will be a need to make reference to a stage like that, and such a document to be a vital tool to help someone proceed or get to a higher platform wherever they are.
All right. Thank you so much. So let me just get to talk about another aspect, which I think is basic. There's a means by which universities try to, should I say, enforce or ensure that their graduates actually go for their internship. And some schools still maintain that standard, while
Uh,
some others don't. Yeah.
so
For
sorry, please,
example,
Eniola, I want you to look into those comments and questions in the comments box as well as you are talking. I want you to take notes so that we can address them when it is time.
all right, thank you. So I was talking about, okay, there are no questions yet. Oh, okay, I'm seeing, okay. Okay, so when we are done with this conversation, we'll begin to
Yeah.
attend to questions. So just keep them coming in, and preferably you can drop them in the question section. If you look at your screen, there's a question mark inside something like a circle. So preferably you can drop your question there. But if you can't, if you're still in the comment section, we'll still try to attend to them. I was going to talk about the basic that we have doing things different ways. Now, I have to finish from certain schools, and in their school, until you've gone for your internship and then you are back, they will not give you your permanent license. But on the
Yeah,
contrary, in
yeah.
my school, while I was still in my 500 level, I had access to my permanent license already. So the normal thing that should happen is that during your induction, you'll be given your temporary license. And then you apply for internship placement with your temporary license. So after 1 year of graduation, or let me say after your 1 year of internship program, when you have completed it, you go back to your school with your evidence of completion. Okay, that I've finished the internship program, and then they will now issue your permanent license. But other schools actually don't mind. And we also have certain facilities that would not even take your internship application until you have your temporary license.
Yeah.
And the issue there is that my school, for example, when inducted, it was like 5 months after my final exam. So there is, for of course, if you go to some public universities, that might not be an issue. This is just my own experience. So after graduating from school, I had to wait for like 5 months. And that's another, should I say, another phase for me entirely. That it's peculiar experience that you cannot begin to talk about now. Funny experience, and so it went like that. So some facilities will not take application if you don't have that temporary license that was issued during the induction. So what I did during my own time was, when I waited for school to fix a time for our induction, I went on and I was applying for placement, and I was applying with don't forget I mentioned that I already had my permanent license. So That was what I was applying with. And fortunately, I was able to get a facility who didn't mind whether I was tendering my permanent or my temporary license. So they took me for my internship. So I started my internship like a month or thereabouts before going back to school for my induction. So many other facilities will not allow that. For example, HNB or SHUN, the likes of UCH, these facilities, they would not accommodate that. But
OAUTH.
some maybe because but some maybe because they don't know that that is how it works, they might take you in. So those are the peculiarities. So I think we should take some comments. So Onyx Princess is saying it's not compulsory. Once permanent license wouldn't be. So that's what I'm addressing. That's what I'm addressing. For my own school, I had my permanent license before graduation. So if we are going by this, it's not applicable to you. So it depends on the school you are graduating from. So and it depends on where you want to apply for. So so I hope you get that Onyx Princess. So Sadiq Bailey is saying, I heard that if one finds it difficult to continue as a nurse during the time of internship, he or she can change program. My question is that which program can he or she earn from Sadiq Bello?
Okay, I think the question is if someone is unable to complete their internship program, that what other program can someone enroll into or what?
Yeah, something like that. But I don't really get
No,
what he meant by
internship,
program.
I feel that, okay, I think for the sake of clarity, it is possible that in the course of internship, you have other engagements and you don't have a choice. It's whenever you are left with no choice than to leave, then that means you are ending it abruptly, especially when you are yet to complete it. You are leaving internship for another opportunity. So there's no other thing in place of internship. There's no other program designed to be serve as an alternative for internship. So it's either you get it completed or you end it abruptly and it is not on record that you pass through that phase. So I think that should be enough to shed more light on the person that asked the question.
Yeah, the question is not very clear. I don't know what the person meant by program. So um Zero to a David, my honorable colleague. So he's saying that okay, so he's making a comment for clarity. So he said some also skip it because of frustration. Yeah, yeah. So I think David is trying to address those people who go for NYC before going internship. So if we begin to take people that have done their internship, share their experience on how easy it was for them to get placement, or more ground will full. So because just like we started talking about in this space that because the internship program was just recently, I mean, a few years ago, it was just implemented. So we still have a number of facilities who are yet to start taking internships. And every year, or even more than every year, we have schools producing graduate nurses. So it is sort of competitive.
Yeah.
The Nigerian factor, you need to know someone. So probably when we get talking about the challenges, we can actually address that. We don't plan to keep this space for too long, and we would have another space probably next week where we talk about the challenges get through. So I hope you would join again. So um okay, so Tommy is saying that is it compulsory? Okay, I think we addressed that already. Tommy is asking about going for NYC before internship or internship before NYC. And we already talked about that. You can actually do either. But the normal thing is that your internship or NYC. But just like David mentioned, frustration in getting an internship is makes some people opt for NYC before going for their internship. So we talked about that already. So
Please,
Tommy is asking that. End of,
in addition to what you had just said regards that question, I think it is not safe. It is always not safe to consider NYC before internship. We have a license that is meant to be presented for internship, and it has expiry dates. So it's possible that you have gone for your NYC, and by the time you are coming back, seeking placements might be somehow challenging. It is not really an easy task, and before you know it, your license, your temporary license might get expired,
That is fine.
and you might not be able to get another one from NMCN. So it might really be a difficult task. I think I had someone share that experience with me. She went for NYC before coming back for internship. And eventually, what she could arrive at was that it was just God that helped her. Her license got her temporary license got missing, and there's no place she would apply that they would not request for that temporary license. So she had to struggle. So most times it's not advisable to go for NYC before internship. Ideally, it is meant to be internship before NYC, because NYC on its own is another major responsibility on you as a nurse. And of course, at that stage, you are really not expected to work. You are not fully expected to work under supervision like internship. Internship, you can see like you are working under someone. You are allowed to do mistakes, and you are corrected. There are some things that you don't even do on your own. But at NYC, of course, you might even be the only nurse on duty. And then if you had not gone through your internship, then you might struggle with that phase as well.
All right. Thank you for clarifying that. So I also think, in addition, I think I've once heard of someone whose temporary license got expired before she could get a placement. And I think maybe the person had to apply for another temporary license. I can't remember how it was resolved, but because of the possibility expired, it is advisable that you go for your internship before NYC. So Tommy is asking, Samuel, you'll be addressing that. His private hospitals take intern nurses.
Yes, we have private hospitals that take intern nurses, although the number of that of government hospitals to private differs. Of course, we have many accredited government hospitals that take intern nurses than private, because not all of those private hospitals meet the criteria for a student who are just graduated from the university to carry out internship. And the essence of internship, if it is not achieved, if it is not worthy, then it is not like worth it going for it in a particular setting. If it is believed that they have not met the criteria for a graduate nurse to come and work, then get necessary skills and knowledge, then it is not worth going there. So that's why we have some of those hospitals that are not accredited yet. So the answer is actually yes. Like, I would state that we have one in Ekiti State, Nado Ekiti, the multi-system hospital in which you are having yours presently, Abuad. So they take intern. Recently, they had just conducted interview for some intern nurses, and it is continued. I also learned that there are some private hospitals in Lagos Island that take intern nurses. Those ones are big hospitals that are well equipped, and they have all that is needed for anyone to go and observe internship.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, so started by Shewa is asking, how do we get placement? So in the next session, in the next series, which is likely to be next week, we are going to be talking about challenges of internship generally, not in internship, and then we are going to be talking about the tips on how to navigate through. So just look out for that. Yeah, so we'll be addressing that in the next series. So okay, we also have our another distinguished colleague here, Ari Atoki, shared the risk of doing internship alongside with NYC. Some people think they can combine it. So Samuel, would you address that?
Combining internship, yeah, I think someone has already, combining internship and NYC I must confess it is a very, very difficult one, and I feel that those that are try to do that, they they do it out of the mindset that they want to manage time instead of spending a full year for intern, then go for another year for NYC. But then it is very risky, and it can put a dent on one's name, especially whereby you are having your internship in a private in a government hospital, and then you are, of course, you are serving government, so you can't be earning. Of course, we all know that working as an intern, you are being paid. You are working and you are being paid. So you can't be earning from two, like you can't be earning so like in two different sources from the government. And even if it's not government, let's even take that away. Internship on its own, we already established the fact that it comes with its own stress. Then how do you want to divide yourself? How do you want to manage the stress of working as an intern, then going to another facility again to work as a copper? So it will clash with your program, with your schedule, and it will have a side effect on your health as well. Because working in a particular hospital, okay, now take for instance someone who works in an hospital as an intern, whereby they run double shifts, and you go in the morning, you close at evening time. So how do you tend to manage internship? And so it's really not a good one, and I don't think anyone should try to combine both, because you can't. There's this saying that you
So
can't
it's not
put
advisable.
yeah, you can't put two metals in, like, you get what I'm trying to say, right? You can't put two metals in the fire at the same time.
Yeah.
It is one after the other, and of course you won't get the best out of the program while trying to do that.
Yeah, because just like we started talking about that, the main goal of the program is to help you sharpen your skill and to instill of confidence, which I don't think will be possible if you are under stress. So it's not advisable at all. So Access collection is saying someone told me that internship can be done in specialist hospitals. How true? Please can you clarify? So Samuel, would you take that? Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, sorry, what was the question again?
Okay, the question is from Osis collection. She's saying that someone told me that internship can be done in specialist hospitals. How true? Please can you clarify?
Okay, thank you for the recap. Like, I already said that to any hospital that would take interns, it means that they have what it takes. They have everything on ground to allow interns thrive, to allow interns learn and get all that they are meant to get. And so far, the hospital is accredited to take interns, and has all that it takes. Every other unit that an intern, because there's this guide in form of that is released from the NMCN to all of those hospitals that take interns. There are units that it has to be units that interns are meant to go through. So it's a situation whereby a particular hospital does not have and they don't have a theater. There are some important places like mental health department. There are some units that an hospital is expected to have. So regardless, in as much they have all of those things and they are being accredited, of course, interns would go there and get what is needed for them to move with their next phase in their nursing career.
All right, thank you. So Droto is making a comment. I think in the comments are talking made that combining NYC and intention demanding and to be tedious. So Adobe is sending loves. Yeah, loves from here too. Okay, so to your I could only see is it possible? What are you asking if it is possible? So Tommy is making another comment to say, please, is the induction letter necessary for internship? And is it possible that if one have a chance to start as soon as the person graduates without induction, can the person start? So I'm just going to address that. I made a comment concerning that already. The normal thing is that after school, um, you graduate induction, and during your induction, you have your temporary license and you apply with your temporary license. But I think that in my own case, I had my permanent license even before leaving school. So after school, my school took time before they organized our induction, and it was a whole lot. So I was applying with my permanent license, and there are places that will not take your application if you don't have your temporary license. But I was fortunate to get a place that they don't really mind whether it was, or maybe say, let me say, they are not aware. So I applied with my permanent license and I started my internship. And I think maybe a month's internship, I went back to school for my induction. So it depends on the facility where you're applying to. So, um, okay, Toyo is saying, is it possible? Well, it depends on the person. I don't think I've ever had somebody combining NYC and internship. So, but even if it is possible, it is not a good option for you to explore. So,
Yeah.
I think internship should be done in government hospitals for proper clinical skills. Well, your opinion, which I would say is valid, but then we also have private that are very equipped as well. So I think if the particular hospital is accredited to take intern nurses, I think they are good to go. So it's not about being a government hospital or being a private hospital. Are they well
Private.
equipped? And I think someone addressed that. So there are even private hospitals that are more equipped than government hospitals.
Yeah,
So
sure.
what's yeah. So I had my internship in a private hospitals, and I mean it's very equipped. It's a well equipped facility. Yeah, so we are saying the same thing. Miss Oni, there are private hospitals that are not equipped, but if they are accredited, and the basic purpose of accreditation is so as to check if and you can train intern nurses. So as far as they are accredited, they are good to go. So I think we okay. So we have some question in the question section. Let's take that and probably just bring this space to an end for now. Then we hope to have you again next week. So Lola and Hooks is saying if one gets a job abroad before starting internship. Okay, so I think maybe I should address that. If one gets a job abroad before starting internship, can the internship be done abroad? No. So are you going to be telling the hospital where you are going that you are here for internship? No, no. You won't jump up. So why are you trying to bring it as an internship? That's a different option. So the implication when you're applying for work outside the country, you're asking if you are to do that's not internship. So that's you're going there to work. So um, that's that about that. Tell Precious Phil was saying instead of going internship, is it possible to go for specialization instead? So do you mean further studies? It is possible. You can apply for further studies, but the purpose of one of the things we've discussed in this space is to tell you that even though internship is not compulsory, but it is necessary. So you also want to build your nursing skills as a nurse. So it is possible you go for your specialization instead, but that's not internship. So we are talking about internship here, not applying for further studies or sort of. So DJ Fashion Accessories is saying, is it true that internship placement is based on connection? I think Samuel should talk about that. Is it based on connection?
All right. time is actually fast spent, but I think there is a need to quickly address all of those questions we have in the comment box. Yeah, internship. Like I think Eniola already talked around Eniola already talked around how difficult it is, and of course you already said that the next series will be emphasizing on getting placements. Of course, you see, it is possible that it is difficult for some people and it is not difficult for some. So Nigeria will remain Nigeria. Getting an internship placement, sometimes it does not really have to do with competence or your ability. There are hospitals that they conduct interview, some hospitals conduct exam, but I think there are some that still do not reckon with the interview. So most times it is actually a competitive one. It is a competitive one whereby we have over 100 that apply, and then the hospital does not need more than probably 50 or 25. So most times it's actually survival of the fittest. And I think I saw a question that someone was asking that is it possible to apply in a particular hospital and apply in another one at the same time? Yes, in fact, it's a very good one if you think that, because it can kind of be expensive as well. Traveling for interview, going to submit documents, all of those ones. If you think, okay, someone is saying internship is leg. Yeah, so it has to do with, we'll not rule out that far. It has to do with connection as well. But then there are some, I've seen a cases whereby a friend of mine was selected for internship and yet she does not know anyone. So most times it has to do with both because of the limited spaces available. And then, when you tend to have anyone in position to help, it is a very good one. In fact, I always advise that you should apply in a particular facility where you have those that can assist you, because if you don't have those that can assist you, it can be tantamount to wastage of time. So most times it can come without you knowing anybody, but I believe that with the help of God, like people still get internship placements even without knowing anybody. Why there are some even whereby there are some instances whereby you get to know someone and yet you are not considered. So above it, or I would still say that it takes the grace of God as well.
So thank you, Samuel. So whether it is by connection or not, I think just like you mentioned, this thing is subjected to the Nigerian factor. Yeah, so because I
Yeah.
can remember I went for an interview. So somebody is asking that is it possible to apply to more than one hospital? Yes. So during my own time, I think I applied to UCA, I applied to FMC Abeokuta, I applied to FETI, and I think those are the three places I applied to. Yes, so for me, I had an idea of where and what I wanted, and even though I was yet to decide, but I knew where I was not going to. So I mean, I knew places where I would not consider. So other places that I wanted to consider, I was applying, and it got to a time that it was not a game of where do you know someone. So that's the Nigeria factor. And just like you, just like you mentioned, it is possible to get treatment without knowing someone. It is possible. Just that the chances are very slim. So I
Yeah.
could remember a particular interview I went to, and let me try and throw shades. We went for the interview together, and during the interview, some people were already entering certain offices. I'm like, I thought this thing was supposed to be fair. Why did you enter office? So people were pressing buttons, and then I think I'm saying that they already had the list of those people that they wanted to select even before, probably during the interview. Can you get so you already decided? And I'm like, so why did you allow us to waste our transfer to this place? So that's a Nigeria factor. So if you're an undergraduate, you can just begin to communicate with your parents. I say, okay, where do you know someone? And probably they begin to build a relationship. with those people. Yeah, because it's usually a game of where do you know someone and how influential or how powerful the person is at that particular place. So we went for the interview and they already selected a certain number of people, and we eventually heard that they are going to be selecting another set of people after that. So people began to make calls. I did too. That okay, I heard another list is coming out. Unfortunately, no, fortunately, I wasn't selected again. So people with different experience, people with different experience. We even had the people that would not go for the interview, and they would be taken for placement, for internship placement. So it depends on how influential the person you know is. Even though it is possible to get a placement without. So now let me balance it. So where I had my internship, should I say I didn't know someone? I'm not sure because I had someone like an elder sister who is also a nurse, and I think maybe after graduation we just communicated around all of this time. I told him, okay, I'm done school looking for placement, here to get inducted, get to give her the updates of what is going on at my end. She spoke about her end too. So one of those days, after I'd traveled around, she just called me randomly one evening like that. Okay, are you interested in this particular place? It will be very interesting for you to have your internship there. They have facilities. I mean, it's a well-equipped place. And out of out of desperation, I was like, "You're still asking me why am I? I don't mind though." So and then she said, "Okay, I should get my documents ready." That she was going to get back to me. So and then another time, I remember that a friend was asking me that how she was going to get to that same facility for interview. Then I called to the person back. Okay, this particular place that you're asking me about, I heard that they are. She never even knew that the interview was going to hold maybe the next 2 days. So I said, okay, I heard that the interview is going to hold in the next. And then she was like, really? That she was going to. So she confirmed, go back to me. And I only had the following day to travel. So I was informed like 2 days before. So I didn't even apply. So I just came for the interview and before I was picked. So we have different people with
Experience.
different,
Yeah.
yeah. So Google, we already answered that. You can apply to, in fact, it is advisable that you do. So apply to different places. And I think saying internship is leg. Now, so yeah, Nigeria system. Okay, so lovely by the saying, no person, skills plus Holy Ghost. It's the Holy Ghost for me. Okay, so yeah, so your documents, begin to get them ready as an undergraduate. Your SSC certificate, your what other documents now? Your local government, all of those, everything, get them ready. So we made a lot of photocopies. I
Reference
mean, a lot of
letter, O
photocopies.
level
So
results,
French application
technical
letter.
certificate.
So all right. So reference letter. Usually they would request for. I mean, we're going to be talking about this in the next space. So for your reference letter, they are going to be requesting for three. So because you can get maybe your lecturer to get one, your school or your faculty to get one for you, then any religious organization that you belong to. If you are a volunteer in a particular organization that is standardized, you can also get one from them. So, but just get three. It is just basically them affirming that okay, this person is of a good attitude. So I've seen people ask that can they get um, reference letter from three different religious organizations? Well, that is possible, but I would not advise that. You can get one from a religious from your school, and if you are volunteering somewhere, you can also get one from them. So if is asking that, if someone likes where he or she did, is it possible to be a permanent staff? So it is possible, but the other is that after your internship, you go for NYSC. So I think the question should be that is it possible to have your NYSC at the same place where you had your internship? It is also possible. If those people are ready to take, if you can get to work your way around it, that they can deploy you to that particular state, and then you get a request letter from the hospital to the state headquarters. So it is possible. It is possible.
Yeah, I've seen such
So yeah,
scenario. I have seen such scenario whereby someone is get to observe her NYC same facility whereby she did her internship.
yeah. So it is very possible. And even after your NYC, you can still decide to stay in that particular that same hospital. It is very possible. So Google is asking again that I think we should be rounding up already. So Google is asking that during the interview, do they reckon with CGPA? So Samuel, can you briefly talk about that?
No, not at all. They don't make reference to your CGPA. In fact, they are not concerned whether you graduated with the first class, second class, or what have you. What they grade you based on your performance at the interview. So there are some could be oral interviews, some could be written exams. So for facilities that would be going by the interview or the exams, they grade you based on what you have done so far.
All right. Thank you. So to put it in a proper perspective, please finish with the yeah. So because beyond internship, when you want to apply for further studies or even life after school, yeah, it might be part of the things that will be considered. But really out here, it's not a game of CGPA, to be sincere. It's a game of what can you offer? So how competent are you? So, but please, as an undergraduate, as a student, please finish with a good CGPA. So,
Okay.
somebody is asking me, and I think this should be the last question. Let's round up already. So, um, Tommy is asking that can I, can one work in other hospitals without the in? Yet, if you are unable to get, okay, so I get that. So I was talking, I will not be sharing my own experience after school. So, but it is possible you, I mean, it is very important that you get yourself engaged after school. So all of these things depend on your approach, how you're able to carry yourself. So because after school I had an interview, I traveled to Lagos. You know, that I was trying to manage the money I had on me. And I didn't just want to go home and sit down. I wanted to do school because I never wanted to finish school and then still go back and then they're still feeding me at home. I never wanted that. So I was trying to navigate through what can I do? How can I get myself occupied? How will I get this time engaged and then not just waste away? So I applied. I was invited for the interviews. I traveled there, and during the interview, they were telling us that they cannot take somebody without experience. I treated it with that frustration that like so as so who go employ graduates? Graduates never get experience. Even as they think go employ me with the experience. They say because they can have something and then they don't. So it was actually frustration. So it depends on where. So I begin to tell them that okay, I I had clinical posting. I've been able to do this, do that. I was trying to package to brand, but then work, work. So, so it depends on where you're applying to. So yeah, it might serve as a boost in your CV, but let's be sincere. Many of those documents that you are getting ready, many of the times, be sincere. It's just okay. How eloquent you are during the interview is another gist on it too. I think we should have that in the second space. How the interview how it looks like, different facilities and all, so that we don't keep this too long. It's really been
Yeah.
an exciting space. I'm very sure you've really learned. So if you've learned, can you just confirm that in the comment section? As it was it really educative? Yeah, so I think we should end the space already. We are spending more than an hour already. So thank you for joining this space. Yeah, so I'm already saying thank you, God bless you. Thank you, God bless you. Okay, first saying thank you so much for the session. It is worth it. Thank you for joining. Tolu and Gloria, thank you for joining. Style Bashewa, you're welcome. It's a pleasure. So we're going to be having another session next week. So you want to invite your friends to join. So we are going to be talking about the challenges, and then it's going to be we get to talk about the interview process. All. So Samuel, thank you for joining. Atoki, thank you for your comments, and thank you for keeping it engaging. Samuel, it's really nice to have you here. Thank you for your time. Yeah, Jua Kemi, thank you for joining. BJ Fashion, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. Alao Gloria, thank you for joining. So you should, yeah, Lizzie, thank you all for joining. And thanks for those comments. Yeah, Samuel, maybe your final words before we end the space.
Okay. Let me as well join Eniola to say a big thank you to everyone out there. Thank you for joining, and I want to leave you with those words that even as much as you are looking forward to be an intern nurse in the shortest time possible, I want to encourage that you should get yourself prepared and ensure that you get the best of the program. It is possible that one would go for an internship program and yet still not be grounded in nursing skills that are required of him to do well out there. So as much as you are anticipating for this phase, then you should as well ensure that when the time comes, you get the best of it. Because if you are not serious, if you are not committed with the program, it is very, very possible that it makes no difference a student nurse and an intern nurse. So thank you so much. And finally, I want to tell you that make sure that you start applying as soon as you are done with your university program. Make sure that you communicate with people. Make sure that you go to facilities that that you know that the help of God, of course, the help of God is everywhere. But I won't say the other way around. Make sure that you go to facilities that you know that yes, it will be very, very possible for you to have your internship. And as well, I would like that you consider facilities whereby you tend to get exposed to things that you are not exposed to while in school. There are some facilities that really does not make a difference when you are in school and when you are out there for internship. There are some facilities like that, but there are some that are well equipped. You tend to work under experienced staff that you learn a lot, and then there are some that allows for research purposes as well. So thank you for joining in once again, and we are hoping to see you in our next series, which will be talking on other aspects, remuneration, challenges, and every other thing. Thank you so much, guys.
All right. Thank you once again. Thank you for joining, and thanks to everyone for joining. I mean, we've really tried to explain all of these things to the basic level, and I think you should not forget that internship is not compulsory, but it is necessary. And begin to apply. I mean, get your documents ready, even so that
No, Eniola, sorry, I need to quickly say this.
immediately
Please,
after your
sorry,
final exam,
I need to
you can
quickly
begin
say
to
this.
apply.
Sorry, please, I need to quickly say this. Internship is, I think for some schools, it is compulsory. There are some schools that you will not get your permanent license until you go back to school to present your certificate of internship completion. So I feel that some schools will not allow you step up until you present your evidence, the evidence that you have gone through that phase. So it might not be compulsory for some persons due to the school whereby they graduated, but for other persons, there is no way around it. If you are not going through internship, definitely you will not get your permanent license.
Yeah. So thank you for that clarification. I think we addressed it already. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for your good comments. Yeah, we hope to have you again next week. Just keep a lookout on the space. We're going to release another flyer very soon, and we'll be having another we'll take other important areas of the internship. So, so what's that? Okay, I think he's making a comment about the remuneration. Yeah, so we're going to be talking particularly about the difference in the remuneration of internship as compared to that of NYSC. So we'll get to talk about that soon. For some people that are considering going for NYSC and maybe skipping internship, so there's always that slide in um in what we'll be getting as a nurse. So thank you for joining. Hope to have you again next week. God bless you. We love you all. Thank you, Samuel.
Yeah, welcome.
So the space will be ending in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds. Bye.
Bye.